What's up, Indiana? Welcome to Indy Sports Nation right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We have a battle in New Orleans with the Irish and the Dogs. We continue the Pacers roller coaster. The Colts are officially eliminated from the playoffs. All that, so much more. Thanks for joining. Battle up. Indy Sports Nation, let's go. Good evening and Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Indy Sports Nation. I'm your host, Big Mike, coming to you live from the great cities of Indianapolis, as I do each and every week. Hope the holiday season was good to you. And we have got a game right now in New Orleans. It's going to come down to the wire, I think. We've just got what looks to be a PI call on the Irish. So we're going to talk a lot about this on the other side. Talk about this game. We're going to talk the Pacers roller coaster that continues. Get in a little bit of a recap from college hoops as we're entering conference play, and then wrap up with the drama and the absolute dumpster fire that is the Indianapolis Colts right now. Just it's unbelievable. But before we get into all that, as you know, we've got to give love to our great sponsors, Planet Jerky. Our new one, Vital Apparel, Seal the Deal Wax Seal. So let's get the bills paid. Get some love to our amazing sponsors, and we'll get right into it on the other side. So we yet again welcome into Indy Sports Nation right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Hope you get a chance to check out our great sponsors on your when you get a free minute here. Again, we would not be here without them. This game is looks like we got an injured player on the field, so we'll come back to that here in a second. But if you'd be so kind on the old X Twitter machine, whatever you're calling it, give your boy a follow here. You can find me at IndySports_IESR. You can also find me at the Chill Mike. So if you'd be so kind, hit that follow button. I greatly appreciate that. And if you're watching live or on the replay, if you're watching the replay, you can always hit me up on those socials to leave any comments you might have. Or if you're watching live, which I appreciate so much, feel free to comment. Got a few people commenting already. Got Larry B checking in, saying how much he loves this game. I am right there with you, buddy. This has been a great game. I know Irish fans are probably checking their heart rates right about now. George chiming in, didn't love that PI call. I didn't either, but I wasn't surprised they called it. There's another call I didn't like that they made too, and I'll get into that here in a second. But as I said, feel free to comment, interact. As always, keep them sports, keep it PG. That is all I ask. So let's kind of get into this here a little bit. This has been so much fun. I am, as a guy who's an Indiana guy, I'm going to root for my Indiana teams. And I did not quite see this playing out. Well, let me take that back. To be a low scoring, I think it's how a lot of us saw this playing out because, Notre Dame's known for their good defense. Been talking about this all season long. And this is going to be the best team they've played. Obviously, is the best team they've played all season long. Georgia's also known for a stout defense. Georgia's playing with the backup QB. But I think what's kind of surprised me a little bit, this is good for Notre Dame. Up until this point, we'll see how the rest of this shakes out. Early on in the game, and again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. There was a lot of third and long that Georgia was getting Notre Dame to be in. Notre Dame is not built they're not a third and long type of team. This is a team that, they like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. That way they can, run the ball or maybe do a little play action QB draw with Leonard, or maybe get a little quick tight end screen, something like that. Just enough there to wait. They kind of keep you guessing. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12s like that. That's not where they live. And Georgia's doing a really good job of that in the first half, especially the first quarter. Even a little bit in the second quarter, but then we started seeing Notre Dame being able to get some pressure, create some turnovers, and that at the end of the first half was a gift for Notre Dame. Because if you're watching this game now, Notre Dame's offense has not been great. They've run the ball okay. We've said all season that's how you beat Notre Dame. You contain that run game, and Georgia's done that for the most part. Here we go. So we'll do a little quick play-by-play here. We got a little rollout here, and Notre Dame stops them. So decision time here for Georgia. We'll see what they do here, but that second half, or the end of the first half, that gift there, I'm thinking if you're Georgia, just take the knee I mean, you're defensively, you're doing everything you need to do to win this game. And instead, let's try to get cute, and it cost them. And fumble, Notre Dame recovers, quick strike, and instead of being 6-3 at half, it's 13-3 at half. Notre Dame getting the ball to start the second half, and you get the to the house for the touchdown. To start the second half with the 99-98 kickoff return. Georgia goes for it, and are they going to call a flag there? No. Oh, don't taunt. Don't be taunting. You don't need a flag there. Notre Dame's made some stupid, got a few stupid penalties tonight. I think just a little bit of emotions gotten the best of them on a few plays, but they hold right here. Good for Notre Dame in that situation. Very good here. Just Casey's checking in there. Huge stop, no doubt about it. Big stop. I don't think Georgia really had a choice there. I think they really had to go. So I'm not mad about that. But I'm not real happy how Notre Dame got in that position to begin with. To be honest with you, there was a drive earlier here where they called an illegal shift, and there was no really illegal shift there. And it cost Notre Dame the first down. Even to go to the rules analyst, and it's like that really wasn't it. So fortunately for Notre Dame, it has not bit them. They're still holding the lead here at 23-10. And we'll continue here to keep an eye on that. Our good friend Heather from Bougie's Sports in Ohio is checked in here. Yes, Notre Dame definitely is not known for their offense. They're known to run the ball. That's their offense, as they run the ball. And they got two of the best backs in the country, in my humble opinion. Not saying the best, two of the best before Ohio State fans lose their mind. But no, defense run the ball. And like I said, I mentioned here, Georgia's done a pretty good job of keeping that contained. And so the fact that it's 23-10 Notre Dame, Irish fans are doing cartwheels here, as they should. So, as I said, we're going to keep an eye on this here. I've got it going right next to me here. So if anything develops, I'm sure I'll feel free to comment. We'll keep chatting about it, keep an eye on it, and see what goes from here. But I don't want to get too caught up in the game because, for obvious reasons, we got some other stuff to talk about, right? One of them being our Pacers. And you saw me, I've mentioned this before, this 7-game stretch we've been discussing, right? Well, that 7-game stretch ended New Year's Eve with a home game against the Bucks, who are just a couple spots ahead of them in the playoffs. Now I know it's playoffs. We're just barely into January. What are we talking about here? It's just the fact that, it's Milwaukee. It's a division rival. It's a home game that you really want to get and want to win, right? So I was hoping after that great West Coast trip, come back, play the Thunder, and we'll touch on that too, because I think that's a game they really should have won. That's no shade to Thunder. The Thunder are fantastic. But I was like, man, I was still kind of one I thought maybe they wouldn't get, whatever. Get your split at Boston, which they did. So go with that. And then come on Milwaukee. I'm like, they got to get Milwaukee. They got to get that one. And then you're up as many as 19 points at home. Just had a great first half. And then second half just went what it was. And now I'll give credit to Lillard and Giannis and all that. I'm not trying to downplay that at all, but that was the 7th time this year in this early season, or early part of the season, that the Pacers have had a lead late and blown it. So with that, and I've mentioned the horrible losses earlier in the year, 2 to Toronto, 2 to Charlotte, 1 to Brooklyn. So 5-game swing right there. And let's just say instead of 7, you say it's only 4. There's 9 games right there. Instead, you're setting 16 and 18. You're still the 8 seed, whatever. So what do we think? What do we think is causing this? Because it's just been a roller coaster of a season, right? You just see a game where Tyrese looks, and I mentioned Tyrese, you know why? I say it every week. It's all about orchestrating. and then you look at, especially in that second half against Milwaukee, there was none. 12 points, 7 assists. Nemby had 2 assists. So your backcourt gave you 9 assists. That should be what Halliburton gets in the game, if not a few more. Quick update here. Notre Dame just barely missed a third down conversion here and are being forced to punt. But, what are we doing here? Trying to catch him. Bring the offense back, trying to catch him off. Oh, wow. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What is that? What is this formation? They're not going to. What? There's a flag. Wow. This is nuts. I think we might have got Georgia jumping here. If that's the case, that's holy cow. Yep. Georgia with a jump. First down, Notre Dame. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway, so back to the Pacers here. So I want to kind of talk about this roller coaster, right? And again, Halliburton's been up and down, and hence the roller coaster, right? But I wanted to touch on a few things too that I've noticed. Again, I'd love to hear the comments. I mentioned the 7 times they've lost when they had the lead late. And I think one thing I've noticed too is teams are playing zone against the Pacers. They're getting a lot of zones. I read a stat today. I think the only team that sees more zone in the NBA right now is the Magic. And it just so happens that the Magic, I think they're the worst 3-point shooting team, or right there close. The Pacers are actually 26th in the NBA when it comes to 3-point attempts. So it's just, I get it from if you're scheming against the Pacers, right? Slows them down a little bit, clogs up that middle, and you're basically daring them to shoot. And although they've gotten a little better as of late, but I feel like it's just part of that is kind of disrupts that flow. And I feel like it kind of, like last year, for example, that nice high ball screen that you would see with Halliburton and Turner is just not quite clicking this time around. I think that might be just some other teams adjusting. So how can the Pacers, well, I also get so much how, but the Pacers got to find better ways to adjust to that. And I think that's going to be a thing going forward. What's favorable? I don't want to say favorable because they're playing in Miami tonight. They tip off here in about 10, 15 minutes. Again, a game that these are games that they need and they should win. The schedule does lighten up a little bit. And I mean, here we go again. This is another opportunity for this Pacers team to get some wins racked up, get back above that 500 mark before, it gets tough again. So, but just right now, it's just up and down, man. It's just kind of waiting for them to kind of just figure this thing out and gel. And I shouldn't say gel, but just be more consistent. I think Neesmith coming back will help because he's about the only one who does a little bit of defense. And I think at the end of the day, too, it still comes back to Halliburton because in these big moments to close out games, there's been times he's not been there. And this is a max contract guy. As much as I love him, I don't know if he's playing right now like a max contract guy. I need more consistency from him. He's going to have off nights, of course. Everybody does. But I need a little bit more from a consistency standpoint here, no doubt about it. Quick update: Ronald Leonard just went all Superman right there and just converted a big first down for the Irish. Clock is definitely now on Notre Dame's side, and can't believe they went. That was a crazy gutsy call by Freeman there to pull that fourth down play. Of course, they got him to jump, keeps the ball, gets momentum back on Notre Dame's side. Gets that great defense a little bit of extra break there. We'll see. We're getting close here. Get close to I think like 4+ minutes, I believe. So, George, I appreciate you checking in, my friend. We got a nice little comment here. We do not play defense in Windiana. We do not. We don't know what that term means. Boy, Zach checking in. Yeah, right. Less Windiana, more Lindiana. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, no doubt about it. But while the game is on break here, let's do the same. Let's get our first break in. Want to get back. We'll obviously keep an eye on this game here, and then definitely want to hit on some college hoops. It's taking place this past week. Kind of catch y'all up on that. We're getting into conference play now, so this is going to be no more of, hey, it's early. We gotta, these teams have got to start stepping up, especially our teams here in Indiana who are not necessarily doing so hot at the moment. So we'll get some hoops on the other side. So thanks again for taking time out of your busy Thursday evening to join me here. Big Mike, Indy Sports Nation, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all those sports. We'll be right back.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Got a little update here. Notre Dame just converted another third down, and we're looking at 2nd and 8 with 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Irish football, so time is on their side, just like the song says. Let's get a little bit of college hoops here real quick. Not a bad week for IU. Women at the real nice win against Wisconsin this week. Real balanced attack. We've had 4 in double figures, 4 starters in double figures. Just very balanced. Strickland wasn't quite there, but didn't need to be, which is a good thing. We can get a good balanced attack and get a good conference win at home. So congrats to the IU women. The men, on the other hand, they got their win against Winthrop, and meh. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I'm hard on. It was 77-68 was the final of that game. Look, I mean, there's just no Ballo in that game, and I'll get to that in a second. Miles Rice was a good game at 18 points. Of course, Renew, also another double-digit performance from him. So good for those two for showing out. But, I mean, the story of it is they were only up by a point in the second half against Winthrop. And Notre Dame just broke another run here, so we got a flag, so we'll see what that is. So for those of you who may not have heard, Ballo is a transfer from Arizona. He's making about a cool $1 million in NIL money, I believe. And he was out at the bars the night before false start Notre Dame, so that will come back. So, yeah, he was out hanging at the bars and tried to be – there's pictures going around the place, going incognito, like you're going to not catch a 7-foot dude, 200 – he looks like he's almost 300 pounds. I'm not sure his weight. I have to check that, but you get the idea. So there's these photos of him going around like he's like, oh, they won't see me. And, yep, they're going to see you, buddy. I promise you. So he was benched, and I'll be interested to see what Coach Woodson does tonight as he tip off those Rutgers tonight. They're getting 5.5, I believe. So that game is at 8:30 on Peacock. And their outside shooting is still bad. I was looked at the stats there. Oh, nice. Almost got one there. Almost Notre Dame almost with a broke around there. They shot 5%. I'm not even making that number up. Again, I'm not a hater. I'm not. I'm really not. I want to see. I've said it a million times. I want to see how you do well. It makes the rivalries better. It gets the state energized. It's what I want to see. But I mean, 5%. Good Lord. I mean, that's been their Achilles for a while now. I'm just. They're winning games, yes. And I'm in a little group chat, and I was kind of hard on them, just for obvious reasons. And some are like, come on, man, you're hating. They're winning their games. I'm like, yeah, they're winning the games. It gets not great competition. And when they do face good competition, we saw what happened. Again, the nice thing is the Big Ten right now, there's nobody who's really wowing me. I mean, the highest ranked Big Ten team right now is Oregon. They're number 9. And you got a bunch of guys in the teams. Michigan State's there, Illinois' around, Purdue's around. But none of them are really like UCLA's there too. My mistake. But nobody is wowing you. So I mean that's just it. My buddy Charlie, Purdue guy, extend Woodson. Yeah, good luck with that. That's what I think. It's what every Purdue fan is saying, to be honest. I've said it before. If they underachieve again this year, I think that's going to be the end of the Woodson era. There's just too much talent here on paper. They just got to put it together on the court, but they got to figure out some outside shooting too, because that's what's going to take you deep in, into conference play and tournaments, and then the NCAA tournament, obviously. So, but move on from them. So we'll see how they do tonight. I'm really interested to see the kind of lineup Woodson puts out there this evening. It should be very, very interesting. So quick note on Butler, too. I don't know if anybody saw this last night, and talk about wow, what a way to lose. So it was on FS1 last night. I actually was watching part of that as the the college football playoff game was the Rose Bowl, I should say, was out of hand. This was bad. And this is, we said at the beginning of the year, we did not really know what we were going to get from Butler. And I think we kind of have an idea now, unfortunately. I'll touch on the women real quick. They're still showing a little bit of hope, even though they did drop a 4-point loss to Creighton. And that was, you hate that you want to get those on the road where you can, but I wouldn't call that a terrible loss by any stretch of the imagination. But they've dropped some games now. I think it's 3 out of the last 4. So hopefully they can find a way to turn that around. But then the big story is the men, and I hate to call them out like this, but they have Villanova at home last night. Again, they had a tough start to the Big East. Imagine they go on the road to Marquette, turn around, come home, play UConn. And I think I shared with you last week. I was at the Butler UConn game, and Butler had chances. Butler had chances at Marquette. Couldn't convert. Just couldn't get it done. Could not make those plays at the end of the games when they needed to. And combine those with those horrible, horrible losses early in the season to Austin Peay and North Dakota State. And how, here you go, you're up 13 points at home. FS1, 13 points at home, 5 minutes to go. And you lose. That just can't happen. I'm sorry. Nova, this is not the old Villanova teams of Jay Wright back in the day, with his old like gangster suit he always wore that everybody loved. This is a very average, I would say, Villanova team now. I think there were 8-5 record coming in. Just a terrible, just terrible loss. I mean, I don't really know the way to put it. And I don't really know where this team goes. So 73-65 was the final. I mentioned they were up 64-51 with 5 minutes to go. So, but they're going to go to St. John's here on Saturday, and that's never an easy place for them to be. It just feels like to me, if you're a Butler fan, this is going to be a tough season. I mean, Telford and Brooks are about all you have. Telford showed up last night. Brooks did it at times. The team's just not. They need more players, and I know the transfer portal and NIL doesn't really help schools like Butler. I get it, but it doesn't help other schools either. And other schools are finding ways to be a lot more consistent and win games they should win. So, take one quick look here at the game. It's so we got minute 43 to go. George has the ball, drive it. Well, still on their end of the field. So yeah, they're on 25, and they've got looks like no timeouts left. So this feels great stop there by Notre Dame. So this is just a matter of time here, I think, before we can start celebrating. Let's check in on some comments here real quick. We already got the IU Purdue banter going in the chats. I love it. Good fun here. So let's get to last bit of college hoops before we wrap up this college football game here and go to the Colts drama. Almost had an interception there too, unfortunate. So Purdue men came back with a nice victory over Toledo, Mid-American Conference school that you would expect that Purdue could handle. Braden Smith, what a game. 34-12. Him, Kaufman, Wren, and Fletcher Lawyer all had solid games, but they had no help from anybody else. Yeah, and that's kind of been the concern of this team. There's been some games, granted, you've seen CJ Cox step up, and I think he's got a very, very bright future, no doubt about it. I still want to see more from the backup bigs. It's not there. Notre Dame with a sack, 4th down. That is going to do it. That is going to do it, baby. Down goes the SEC again. ESPN is going to be crying, and I love it. I'm here for those tears. I know we got our Georgia guy who does our Georgia show, does an amazing job, and I'm sure they're not they're not happy there. But I called this one. I thought Notre Dame had a real good shot to win this game, and Georgia's just been too inconsistent all year. And while they've got a lot of talent, they're just have not been able to consistently put it together all year. So we'll talk more about that in a sec. But I want to touch on Purdue again. So they have 8:00 tip on FS1 tonight in Minnesota, Minnesota's not a great team. This is a team that we saw come into Bloomington here a few weeks back, and IU, especially in the second half, kind of handled them. But Minnesota is one of those teams that when they play at home, they find ways and to compete. And this is what worries me about this conference this year, or I should say for Purdue this year, and Indiana for that matter, just because it's just so much. It's almost so much parity. It's crazy. So we'll see. I would like to see Purdue get a nice road conference win tonight. I think they could build off that. And it is looks like officially official now. It is players are on the field, and we're going to have Notre Dame versus Penn State. And we get to talk more college football on this show, baby, and I love it. Love it. So with that being said, we'll take a real quick look at the comments here one more time, then we'll have a little bit of celebratory celebration for the Irish on the other side. Then we'll talk the dumpster fire that are the Indianapolis Colts. So let's see here. Can we skip the Colts tonight? No, we cannot. No, we cannot. But we can vent and we have each other's back. We can cry on each other's shoulder. How about that, George? Zach chimes in a little bit different, the backup QB, but still love to see the SEC lose. Yeah, I get that, but my theory or my thing on this show has been very constant from the beginning. It's next man up. Injuries are part of the game. It's unfortunate. We don't like to see it, but unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is. And backups at schools like Georgia, Bama, Texas, whatever, most of these guys would start at any other school in the country. So, but congratulations to Notre Dame. I can't. Excited. They'll be. I know my Ohio State people are excited too because they already know that it's going to be an Ohio State Notre Dame national championship. Notre Dame by 40. Anyway, all right. I'll stop with the rambling here. Let's get to our last break, and like I said, we'll touch more on this Notre Dame win and get into the Colts drama. So thank you once again for your taking time out of your busy Thursday night to hang out with your boy Big Mike right here, Indy Sports Nation, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And once again, big congrats to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Their college football playoff win over Georgia tonight. So they will be playing next Thursday. And I believe I'll be going back on, or be on Thursday again next week. I'll need to, I'll confirm that. I think we're going to do a few more Thursdays. Before eventually I will probably have to go back to Friday just because, full-time work and all that good stuff. But a few more comments coming in on the regarding the college football playoff. The man, the myth, the legend that is Larry B. Big ups to Notre Dame. This coming from a non-Notre Dame fan, so appreciate that, Larry. Appreciate you tuning in, of course, as you always do. And buddy Zach is hook 'em horns. Yep, I'm kind of right there with you. There's I know a few Ohio people. That's okay. It's all part of the fun. Because let's be real. Speaking of fun, it's something we're not having a whole lot of right now. Are we, Colts fans? My word. So in case you live under a rock, you can see Colts lose to the Giants this past weekend, 45-33. Yes, that's what I said. 45 to a team that averages like 14 points a game. Yet another season where you had the playoffs. In this case, I wouldn't say actually you did have them in the palm of your hands because all you had to do was not drop a ball at the goal line in Denver and then come up with a stupid trick play that failed miserably. And you don't have to do those things. You may get out there with a win, and then all you got to do is beat the worst team in football in the New York Giants. They come home to play the Trevor Lawrence-less Jacksonville Jaguars. But you do that, and you got a really good shot at making the playoffs. But yeah, here we go again. Here we go again, another year where it's just blown. So we'll talk. I just want a few things just for humor because this is hilarious to me. A couple stats. Just gonna share this real quick. Drew freaking Lock. 17-23, 309, 4 touchdowns. Are you freaking kidding me? Malik Neighbors, who's good. I mean, Malik Neighbors is a very, very talented dude, no doubt about it. 7 for 171, 2 tuds. Gave up a special teams touchdown. The Indianapolis Colts defense, because it was a special teams touchdown, gave up 38 points to the New York Giants. Yep. Nobody can take this team or this franchise seriously. I mean, we've kind of been saying that for a minute, but I mean, they're a joke. They're an absolute joke. And again, I mentioned this last week. There's no accountability. None. Some of you may have seen. I know most of you out of market people who are tuning in, which I appreciate it to no end. Thank you very much. Y'all know Pat McAfee. Y'all know his ties to the Indianapolis Colts. It's no secret. He puts out a post, tweet, whatever you're still calling it. Just going off. And look, and some people are really just mad at him still from the crap he did earlier in the season. I disagree with what he said earlier in the season, trying to get, AR out of there and try to get Flacco to win games. This season was never about, in my eyes, I've said this a million times, it was never necessarily about making some deep playoff run this year. It was about the development of Anthony Richardson. The dude is green as green can be. So let me ask you this. Did the Colts really do a good job of developing Anthony Richardson this year? Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that. We know he's green. So, George chimes in right here. It's good. I mean, he's like, owner's not in his right mind to hold anyone accountable. Unfortunately, that's true. Whether we want to admit it or not. And now, granted, there's been some serious health issues with Colts owner Jim Irsay. That's all, and we all know this. But it's a culture issue from the top down. It all starts at the top. right? It doesn't matter what it is. Football organization, your business, whatever it may be, it all starts at the top. And if you have poor leadership at the top, chances are you're going to fail. That's what the Colts have been doing year after year. But no one wants to seem to be out. No one wants to take responsibility for it. Okay. In fact, I was going to pull this up here. This is something, this is the other story that kind of dropped today. Or didn't kind of drop, it did drop. It was from the Athletic, Zach Kiefer and James Boyd. Interview, and they've been working on the story for a couple months, and this was an interview with a veteran player, so it's been with the Colts for years. I think you could speculate, guess who you want. You'll eventually guess it right. There hasn't been that many veterans who've been here that long when you think about it. It's just a handful of guys. This comes straight from a veteran player from the Indianapolis Colts. There's no vision from the top down, from the front office to the coaches to the players. No one is ever on the same page. And every year at the end, we're sitting here losing. If you look at the best teams in the league, they all have a vision and they commit to it. The Chiefs keep winning because they have a vision. The Lions turn things around because they have a vision. There's no vision here, end quote. Pretty damning. And we all know where this starts. Yet another issue last week. I mentioned last week before the game that Anthony Richardson hadn't been sitting out of practice, but it felt like he was going to play. I thought he was going to play too, just based on everything that was being reported here. Remember, it was just saying soreness. Sore foot, sore back. And then all of a sudden he's out. He's not playing. It makes him look soft. I mean, Steichen mismanages this again, just like he mismanaged the benching before. We all remember that fiasco, right? This time it's like, well, he's sore. Name me an NFL player, at the end of the season, during the last couple of weeks of the season, name me one NFL player outside of, kickers or punters or something like that. People who are playing, every play, every down, whether offensive, defensive, whatever side of the ball they're on. It's not sore by the end of the season. Of course they're sore. So you're telling me he's out because he's sore? Oh, then all of a sudden the story comes out. Oh, wait, it's back spasms. I'm sorry, what? It's back spasms? That's a little different than sore. A little different than sore. Anybody, if you're listening in, whether it's live or the replay, have you ever had back spasms? I've had back problems myself in the past. It's awful. It's awful pain. To the point, it's hard to even walk at times. And now, AR does this interview this past week, right? And listen, I like it. I like him. He's a nice enough kid. He's green, still a little naive, I think. That's, whatever. That's just part of learning, part of growing. And basically says he's had these back issues since like 8th grade. It even goes on the record and says it very well could be chronic. I can't imagine the Colts staff and front office love that. But whatever, I don't care about that, to be completely honest with you. So wait a minute, you're telling me all this stuff with the combine and everything else, and you didn't pick up on this chronic back stuff? I look, it's just another litany of things that just makes it just shows how inept this front office is. They just are. Coaches, especially to get in front of the microphone, the coaches on the same spot, same place we're on the same page rather, as a quarterback, vice versa. Because remember back in when he got benched, AR said he had no idea. And then all of a sudden, like a couple days later, oh yeah, we talked about it. Yeah. What? It's so bad. They just try everything they could do to not be transparent and just be upfront. I get there's certain things you don't need to share. There's certain things you want to keep in house. That makes total sense. But the dude's got back spasms. He's got back spasms. They're saying, it's not a surgical. It's a disc thing. It sounds like, so it's not a surgical thing. I'm telling you, man, back pain is usually something that it lingers. It doesn't always go away. So it is a little concerning from my standpoint. But we'll see. I mean, it doesn't at this point in this year. It doesn't matter. The season's over. They're going to play a game on Sunday. By the way, if you have nothing to do, even though we're supposed to get a snowstorm here in Indianapolis, but you got nothing to do, you got about $7 on you, you can go to the secondary market and get a ticket for the Jags-Colts game. $7, baby. It's a primo entertainment. You can go watch two teams with backup quarterbacks who are terrible. And you could do that in the snow, so why would you? Come on. Oh, wait, you'd rather stay home? Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't worry, I'll be there. I got my crew. We'll be there. Well, it's it'll be our last tailgate, so we'll go off the bang, I guess. I don't even know. A couple good notes. Pro Bowl came out. Pro Bowlers came out today. We got JT, Zaire, Quentin Nelson on the Pro Bowl. Great, fine. I mean, cool. Sorry. I mean, I just that doesn't stuff really I don't really care about that, especially with the way this thing's been going. Got DeForest Buckner and Ryan Kelly as alternates. How Ryan Kelly's an alternate when he hasn't played half the season, I have no idea, but whatever. But as I mentioned, Jacksonville this weekend. Two crappy football teams. So I'll be there to just to be with the guys, and we'll see what happens. Looks like it'll be Anthony Richardson. They've not ruled him out yet. I don't think he plays. It doesn't make sense to me at this point. I mean, if he's still having spasms, what's the point? This game means nothing. I don't want to see Joe Flacco either, but I'm sure that's what's going to happen. And you know what? I've kind of been resigned to the thought that maybe that could be his last start ever. I mean, they might just say, "Hey, here you go. You're not coming back next year, and you may not play football in the NFL ever again. So have your one last start. See what you can do. Whatever. I'm fine with that." Another thing to note too, more drama out of this organization. For those of you who don't know, Zaire Franklin has his own has a podcast, In the Trenches, and running his mouth about the Giants early in the year, saying he wanted to beat up on a bad team in a big market, and look what happened. Although Zaire had an okay game, but I'm sorry, if you're wearing a C on your jersey, I don't want to hear that crap coming out of your mouth. Just don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I just don't. It's ridiculous. And this is where the whole drama comes in with the McAfees of the world or whatnot, calling them out. And because, again, I didn't agree with McAfee earlier in the season, but I didn't have a problem with what he posted. And if y'all didn't see what he posted, just go to his X Twitter page and you'll see it. It's pretty recent, so you'll find it pretty easily. Everything he said was pretty accurate. He took a little victory lap there. He was right. Fine. Good for him. Whatever. I'm not mad at the guy. I disagreed with him on things, but I'm not mad at him. Whatever. But a culture change to me has to happen now. And I really, really hope that when I'm back on here next week, hopefully watching Notre Dame beat Penn State, we'll see. That'll be a great game. I wish I had more time to preview that, but that's gonna be a heck of a game. I really can't wait for that. I like both those teams, so may the best team win in that case, I suppose. But change has to happen now after that debacle again in New York, where we've seen it time and time again. It happened last year, remember? Of course, last year was a little different, I guess, but not really. Another chance you had it at home, a chance to win and go to the playoffs. You blew it. We had the 2022 season, which was a disaster. We all know the Jeff Saturday crap. And then the season before was a Carson Wentz debacle, where you had to win one of the last two games against the Raiders and the Jaguars, and you lost them both. And you go home. So here it is again. Same thing. So change has to happen. And whether it will, I don't know. To me, it has to happen. And I know that, we've talked about it here. Everybody says typically that the GM and the coach are tied at the hip. And I think in a lot of cases that, yeah, I get it. I do. I really do. I don't think Irsay cares about that. I don't know. I mean, again, it's hard to say what's going on in his brain. He's been really, really, really quiet though. Like unusually quiet. Usually you see him putting a Twitter post out there or whatever. In fact, I retweeted it on the old at the Chill Mike account about the all chips in from a few years ago. We're going to right this ship. It's all chips in. Yeah, no, you haven't. No, it's not. It's not. I put another one out there and tagged him in it and asked him, I'm imploring you to see reason here. Chris Ballard's fundamentals, his philosophy is not working. It hasn't worked. It's just not working. It's not going to. It's just not going to. That's where the change needs to start. He on Monday, he needs to be gone. In my opinion. And you know me, I've said it here before. I don't want people to lose their jobs. That's terrible. Nobody wants that. But it's business is business. We know how this goes. I've also said this before. Think about all your jobs and what you do. If you're mediocre for 8 years, by the way, his record is 61, 69, and 1 as a GM here in Indianapolis. If you're mediocre at your job for 8 years, you think you get to keep it? Nope. They either move you to something else or they give you your walking papers and say, hey, best of luck. So, granted, I get it. It's usually they're tied to the hip. I get it. The thing for me is you're going to have to go roll with AR at least for another year. Now, I would love to get like a bridge quarterback in here. I'll name one, for example, Justin Fields rings a bell. I would love to bring someone like that in. I'm not saying they will, but I'm just going to use him as an example. You wouldn't have to change the offense all that much. He's a better thrower, obviously. He's more polished in that regard. I mean, not that that's hard to do or to be at this point. And I just say, hey, here it is. Anthony, you got to earn it. It's well documented. There were some issues, on preparation and stuff behind the scenes that he wasn't meeting expectations. He's so green, you probably didn't even know him. Who knows? I don't know. Not there. But I don't think when you have a quarterback that green, I don't think after his second year, which is really his first year because he didn't play much last year, I don't think you take the offensive, coaching staff away. I think you go one more year with that and see where it goes. Zach's chiming in again. Baker Mayfield wanted to come to Indy. That is true. And a lot of people, myself included, wanted him here. I thought he'd have fit well here. Seems like he's doing pretty good in Tampa. So yet another time that Ballard, crapped the bed. He had a chance in the draft to possibly get Herbert. Didn't work. That didn't happen. That was a little tougher deal. I get that. But he's had opportunities, and now he puts Band-Aid. Then he puts himself in a position where he had no choice but to draft Anthony Richardson because there was no other option. I mean, he wasn't going to take Levis, so you had to. So we'll see. I think Gus Bradley will be done. There's been no improvement on this defense under his tenure here. So I would think, who knows if Irsay will do it Monday or not? I don't know. With Grigson, he waited a while. But I made the comment a minute ago that Irsay's been awfully quiet, and he's been off. And usually, not always, usually, when that happens, change comes. If you look at the history, change comes. So stay tuned for that. We will touch more on that next week without a doubt. I do want to share with you one quick thing before we call it a night here. And I always start the show by saying, great city of Indianapolis, and I love this city. I do. This is no secret, and I've tell people how great of a sports town this is. But I wanted to share this with you. Indianapolis is a great sports town. It's an absolute great sports town. You'll still refer to this as a flyover state, yada yada. But I just want to bring this up, how great of a sports town this is here in Indianapolis, because here's what's coming to Indianapolis in 2025. All right, this is obviously outside of all Colts games and Pacers games. Our professional teams we have here, right? Obviously, we got the Indy Ignite pro volleyball team starting up here very, very soon. So not including all that. February 1st, I know I'm going over a little bit on time here, so I apologize. So February 1st, WWE will be in town for the Royal Rumble. End of February, we've got the NFL Combine. Beginning of March, Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament. Take a step back here. You've got the Horizon League Basketball Tournament. You've got the Men's NCAA Tournament, the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. We have NIT Championships coming here. Obviously, we've got the Indy Grand Prix, of course, which is that annual thing. The Indy 500, still the largest single-day sporting event in the world. We want to remind you. WNBA All-Star Game, Brickyard 400. We have Live Golf, the NHRA, U.S. Nationals, Big Ten Football Championship Game. And one thing I skipped was we have Big Ten Football Media Day in the summer. Just a handful of things coming to this city in 2025. It is great to be here, and I encourage anybody who maybe listen out of market, come check out this city. It is a great sports city. We'd love to have you. So on that note, we are going to sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And I am looking forward to catching you guys next week. So Big Mike signing off. Indy Sports Nation right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, everybody.